Hello and welcome to a brand new series for my channel. We are going to start playing Subnautica. I've had this game for a little while and there's been a few updates to it, and I recently started playing it again and just sort of got back into it and really had a lot of fun, and I thought I would start a new game so that you guys can sort of go through it with me and enjoy it as well. I've not played this for quite a while, so well, I say I've not played it for quite a while. I played it a little, which got me back into it, but I'm not one of these that have played it so much that I know where everything is, or you know how to get to everything. So it's going to be a bit of a learning experience for me, and as I say, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So we are going to start a new game. So there's 4 different types of game mode. You've got creative, where you don't have to worry about oxygen, food, pressure, nothing. Everything's just off. Yeah, not really for me. You've got hardcore, which is oxygen, health, water, food, and permadeath. Yeah, not doing that on a Let's Play, because let's face it, one wrong move and that's it, game over. You've got freedom, which is, you know, you've got O2 and you've got health, but you don't have to worry about hunger and thirst. Or you've got the full-on survival, which is, you know, the standard survival. So you've got to worry about food, water, health, and oxygen. So we are going to be playing on survival. And hopefully this loading screen won't take too long. If it does, I will cut it out. So some of you might not know what Subnautica is. It is a survival game that takes place in a water world. So most survival games that I've ever seen are sort of based on land. You know, you run around. There are lakes and water. You know, think Minecraft. You know, most of your building is done on land. Whereas this, 90% of your building and your exploration is all underwater. You know, there's 1 or 2 islands on this game, but that's it. Everything else is done under the water. And I think it's just an excellent difference. You know, it's a survival game with a difference, and I think that's what makes it interesting, because it's not the same as all the other worlds, or all the other games that you play. Oh, come on, don't freeze on me. See, this is the problem sometimes. My recording software takes a little bit of my CPU and stuff, so occasionally my games struggle. It's not often, but some games do, especially early access, because they're not 100% optimized yet, which is understandable, really. And here we go. So we've had to abandon our spaceship, which has just exploded. Oh dear. This is gonna hurt. Massive fire. Okay. Come on, let me out. I want the fire extinguisher. Thank you. Ooh. Ah, no, don't stand in the fire. That's not a good thing. Right.
Greetings, survivor. Great job not dying. To assist you in
very sarcastic computers.
Situations, you have been issued this personal data assistant. The interface visible now will organize your inventory, display currently available construction blueprints, and holds other valuable information. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with it.
Okay. So we've got a small storage locker just here with a bit of food and water. I'm not actually going to eat any of that. I want to save this. See, these nutrient blocks, you can only find these, you can't make them. And they restore a lot of health, so I want to keep them.
3 hours since planet 4. Life pod hull. Secure. Communications. Offline.
Why won't you open? Oh, never mind. Let's take a look outside. And there is our spaceship.
Aurora suffered catastrophic hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected in 100-meter range.
And that looks like a thermal vent. Let's take a look.
Environment. Uncharted. Ocean planet. Oxygen nitrogen atmosphere.
I mean, look at this. This is so beautiful. Like, it's just amazing. And we'll pick that up. So it's the general survival, you know, scavenge for materials, find food, gotcha.
New creature discovered.
And these creatures can be used for different things. You know, you can use them for food. Certain... Oh, my oxygen is running low. There we go. So you have the oxygen bar at the bottom right-hand corner. Sorry, bottom left-hand corner. You've also got health, food, and water. Jump back into the pod. And this is the basic machine that we use for most of our crafting. So the big piece of metal I got before can be turned into titanium. That is one of the most common crafting materials. With the quartz you can turn that into glass. Some things do require pure quartz, so you know, don't just make everything glass and then wonder why. Some of the fish can be used, well, the single type of fish that can be used to make water is the bladder fish. All the other fishes you can use for cooking or being cured. Now, if you cure a fish, it restores a different amount of health and a different amount of water than if you just cook them. So if you cook a fish, you'll get, I think it's more food and some water back than if you cure them. But a cooked fish will slowly rot, whereas a cured fish will not rot. So if you're going to cook the fish like this, eat it straight away. You know, only do it if you're actually hungry. The water you can store forever because it's water, it doesn't go off. Back into the water we go. I'm still hungry, so come here, fish. But it's normally a good idea to have a little bit of water on hand. And, you know, the thing with the fish as well, you can just keep the fish in a cupboard as a fish and it won't rot. So if you're close to your base, you don't really have to worry about, you know, cooking all your food and things like that. You can just sort of come back to them later. Oxygen. Right. We need to repair this place. Oh, I can make an air bladder if I get some silicon rubber. So an air bladder helps you get to the surface quicker. What I really want though is an oxygen tank. So that quartz I got before I'm going to turn to glass. And one oxygen tank please. Now watch the number here. Boom. So a single oxygen tank raises your capacity by 30, I believe it is. And you can carry multiple oxygen tanks. The only problem with carrying more than one is that it takes room in your inventory. So the first one that you pick up, when you look at your inventory, it goes just in this slot. So it doesn't take extra space. every tank you have after takes up, I think it's either a 4 or a 6, we can find out. A 4x4, a 2x2 rather, so 4 slots in total in your inventory. So you could literally deck your whole inventory out with oxygen tanks, and you'd have, 300 minutes of airtime. But you wouldn't be able to do anything down there because you'd have no space to pick anything else up. So it becomes slightly pointless. Come on, clear. I'm literally just going through these to clear them because I hate having the red dots above all of the inventory panel. I know, it's silly, but... Right, drop all that off. Let's actually have a proper explore around. Now, over there was like the vent, wasn't it? There it is. So this becomes sort of important later. And a breakable limestone rock. So you can find limestone rocks around, and by giving them a few taps, you can find titanium, copper. I think that's all that you can find in the limestone. There's different stones that obviously break into different things. But this is a thermal vent.
Degradation of the Aurora's drive core may cause a quantum detonation. Calculating risk assessment. Death by malnourishment, 7%. By physical injury, 11%. By exposure to radioactive crash site materials, 90%. If the drive core is breached, probability of death increases to 65%.
So my chances of survival, according to the computer, are slim to none. That's comforting. But yeah, so this thermal vent will become useful later because you can build bases and things like that, and you'll need a power source. And thermal power is quite a good and efficient sort of power source. So, there's only sort of 2 of those in this starting area because we're in a place called the Safe Shallows, and you will always be within the Safe Shallows when you start the game, and after that things get harder. There's several different biomes and several different things to explore.
Copper is an essential component of all powered equipment.
Awesome. Oh, and we're right next to a life pod.
It's just increased by 11%.
Right. It's a damaged life pod. Let's get in here. Aha! So we've just unlocked a new blueprint. The compass. So we can now craft that. And compass is a pretty awesome thing to find that early on, to be honest. Now the other thing we might find around here is a data log. I'm grabbing these because I want as much copper and stuff as I can get a hold of. Oh, that one had lead in it. Okay. Well, I can't see a console or anything floating through the top of the life pod isn't a good thing. And these floating vines are a new area basically. So now at the moment the only fish we've seen are non-hostile, which is a good thing. There are many hostile fish, or aquatic sea life in this game, most of which seems to think that I am quite edible, which, to be honest, at this precise moment I am. I've got no way to protect myself really, so inventory's not even half full, so we can keep scavenging for the moment. We'll move into this area a little. Now you'll find a lot of scrap metal and stuff in these sort of areas because one of the main sort of enemies that you'll face early on likes to collect scrap metal. So these will be useful, so grab a few of them. And that is... oh, a sandstone. Oh, we got gold. Lovely. Always like finding gold. The rock there. Some titanium. Won't say no to it. But I think it's about time I get back to the surface. Now, your oxygen level translates to seconds that you can spend under the water. However, depending on how deep you are, depends on how quickly your oxygen is used. So if you are, I think it's up to 100 meters down, then it will be a 1-to-1. So for every 1 oxygen you have, you can spend 1 second under the water. The further down you go, it increases, so you end up with, 1 second for every 2 oxygen.
Radiation readings exhibit characteristics consistent with total degradation of the Aurora's dark matter drive core. A quantum detonation will occur with a probability of 85.5%. Advise observing a 1 kilometer safety range.
Okay, that's not too good. That's basically telling me that the Aurora's drive core is going to explode. Huh. Lovely. Get all of the titanium. There we go. Now that creepvine seed can be turned into lubricant. It can also be turned into silicon rubber. I am going to make it silicon rubber because that's what I need the most of at the minute. Oh, I need another creepvine seed. Okay, so with silicon rubber you can make a couple of tools. So the first silicon rubber I made, I'm going to use to make a survival knife.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. As an essential survival tool for 2.5 million years, the knife remains the only exception. Sorry about that.
That will come to bite us later on. The fact that, the only sort of tool that we get, or weapon we get, is a knife. Because we end up fighting very big creatures and we have nothing to fight them with, really, other than a knife. It's really not fair. Don't get me wrong, I mean, killing creatures and stuff like that, it's, 1, not really what this game is about, and 2, you don't get anything special from killing creatures. So you don't, get drops or anything like that from a creature if you kill it. So, in some respects, killing creatures is pointless. But let's face it, sometimes it's necessary. When they're trying to eat us, it makes sense to try and kill them back, right? Right, there we go. Have something to eat and drink. Oh, current generator. Get rid of you, come on. Go away. Right. And let's go back to that creepvine area because I want more of those seed sacks. We are quite lucky, really, that we've not bumped into anything that's hostile to us yet. Of course, now I've said that, here comes the big fish that's going to eat me, most likely. Come on. There we go. Got them all. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we've got 1 back there, so that's 8.
Emergency.
Lovely.
Seismic readings suggest a quantum detonation has occurred in the Aurora's drive core. The central dark matter reactor will reach a supercritical state. 80 minus 10.
Back to the life pod. Back
9,
to the life pod.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, underwater. Huh. Neat. There goes the ship. So with the ship's explosion, a lot of radiation has now been released into the surrounding area. The closer you get to the ship, the worse the radiation effect is. So it's effectively locked off a large zone near the ship that we can't go near, because the radiation will just kill us. Now there is a lead-lined radiation suit, and once we have that we can go and explore the ship, but until we have that we're sort of banned from that zone, which isn't brilliant, but okay. Right, what can I make with the materials that I have at the moment? I can make some fins, so I'll swim faster, yes please. Always a good thing to swim faster. Now I need magnesium and I need sulfuric powder from the crash fish. Drop some of that off. Can we make... Oh yeah, now we have the knife, we could actually make a computer chip if we wanted one. That requires a copper wire and a computer chip, so we don't have enough copper for that yet. The grav sphere is quite an interesting thing, but again we don't really have the stuff to make it yet. Right, I am going to be looking for a crash fish. Oh dear, these guys aren't hostile, but if you get too close they'll sort of spread poison powder around, and it's not the greatest. No, nothing in that tunnel. Ah, and that right there was oh wow, that was close. There's some of the creatures that would like to eat us, so just be careful of them. That's a quite deep area, I don't really want to go there yet. Now what I'm looking for tends to be in tunnels and sort of underground areas. No. It can be a little awkward to find them at first, but once you've found them, that's the thermal vent. Let's try this way. Near the crash pod. Oh, I saw the tail end of a sand shark. There's some very small fish over there that like to bite. Back up we go, make sure we've got a full load of air before we start swimming too close to the ground. There's a tunnel there, so we'll try that out. That might actually be where I came from a minute ago though, I'm not sure. It's the problem with these, all the tunnels look the same. Yeah, it was in here before. So I've just gone in a massive circle, which isn't really surprising. Right, let's go that way. Away from our crash pod and see what we can find. Go away, you lot. As I say, they just become slightly annoying because if you get too close, the whole area ends up poisonous for a little while, which makes it a little bit harder to swim round. But while we're in the safe shallows, we're relatively fine. I say relatively because there are still many ways we can die. Hang on, that looks like something I'm looking for. So I will swim back up to the surface to get a fresh load of oxygen. And then we will have a look. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So if you get too close to it, it releases a fish. Oh no, 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 no. And the fish does that. But once it's blown up, you can explore this. Oh, it had an egg in it, but it didn't have what I wanted. Ah, there's two more though. Okay. Oh dear, wow. Go away. You crap. Oh god. Ow. That hurt. Ah, but these do have what I'm after. That's got another egg. So the eggs, later on you can build like an aquarium within your base, and you can sort of hatch the eggs to get all the different creatures and stuff. I'm not going to bother with that at the moment. I'm just going to head back on my way, picking up a few random items. Later on, most of the items I'm picking up become, well, I say most, all of the items I pick up become useful. And we're going to need to do some crafting and things, so always a good idea to have a few things with us. Now your base, or your life pod, sets out a beacon. You can turn that off, you can change the colour of it as well, so... And you can set up your own beacons and things like that later on as well, so...
Oxygen.
You can make it easier to find things when you build like your own bases and stuff like that. No thank you, leave me alone. How much stuff have I got? Quite a bit, but I've got some space left, so... Really, I need more food, so come here, little fish. I said come here. Thank you. You too. And you. I said come here. Damn it, that's the poison. So yeah, that's what happens if you get too close to those guys. They sort of shake their tail and loosen a few of those little yellow droplets which poison the sea around you. In we go. Right. I didn't pick up any titanium. I will cook some food though, please. And also, oh, I was going to make you into water, but never mind. Oh, I've got another one, that's fine then. Lovely. I'll drink you and eat both of you. And we will have one of the spare waters that I've got in here. Lovely job. Right. Pull both of you out. I don't think I've got enough lead yet to make... No, I need 2 lead for that. Okay. Copper wire and a battery. I need much more copper to do any of that sort of stuff. I can make a battery though. And once I have a battery I can start making some of this stuff. Now I still need to get some magnesium to make the repair tool. But, oh, I can make the... I'm going to make a computer chip. And then I'm going to go hunt for some more copper so that I can make a battery. Because I've just used the copper I had to make the computer chip, so now I don't have enough for the battery. But once I've done that, I will build a habitat builder, and then we can start building our own base rather than relying on this little pod that we've got. Because although the pod's got a few things, it doesn't have most of the stuff we're going to need. So, yeah. And grab one of you, take you because we got hurt earlier. So this little med bay kit fabricator will make a med kit roughly every half an hour. So you can always come back every now and then and pick that up. But I am going to leave the episode off here, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know if you're enjoying these episodes. I'm going to do a couple in sort of a batch recording and see how it goes. Bit of a first taste at the minute. If I get sort of support with it, then I'll continue. If you guys aren't really interested, let me know and I will drop this and do a different game. But I will see you guys in the next episode.